You wake up, put on your Ray-Ban Meta glasses. You're living all in. You realize you need coffee. So you say,
"Hey, Meta, how do I make a latte?"
Brew 2 shots of espresso.
After Meta AI gets you caffeinated, you're ready for some beats.
"Hey, Meta, play hip-hop music."
You head to meet some friends, but can't remember the place.
"Hey, Meta, call Eva."
Ray-Ban Meta glasses, the next generation of AI glasses. Just say, "Hey, Meta," to harness the power of Meta AI. Shop now at meta.com/smartglasses.
It's beginning to sound a lot like the holidays. The Roku channel, your home for free and premium TV, is giving you access to holiday music and genre-based stations from iHeart, all for free. Find the soundtrack of the season with channels like iHeart Christmas and North Pole Radio. The Roku channel is available on all Roku devices, web, Amazon Fire TV, Google TV, Samsung TVs, and the Roku mobile app on iOS and Android devices. So stream what you love and turn up the cheer with iHeartRadio on the Roku channel. Happy streaming!
I have a way to make your morning more efficient. You can get caught up on the news in about 7 minutes. That is my promise to you as the host of the 7 podcast from the Washington Post. And in that time, I will run down 7 stories. Everything from the most important headlines to fascinating new information you might miss otherwise. My name's Hannah Jewell. Go follow the 7 right now, wherever you're listening. And we will get you caught up.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
It's now time for the Viral Load with Tiffany Hobbs.
Yes, it is. Good evening, everyone. Well, last night, Mo covered quite a few viral stories. This week has been nothing short of exciting and busy when it comes to viral stories. However, our very first story doesn't deal with TikTok, doesn't deal with Instagram or Facebook. No, we're going more old school in the sense that this story actually comes from hacking into your cell phone. What's the newest scam? Well, it's viral because it's being talked about everywhere. And KFI's own Rich DeMuro, our tech guru, actually spoke about it on his show this previous Saturday. This new scam taps into your cell phone. Yes. And many of us, if not all of us, have some sort of cellular device. In this case, your cell phone does not have to be a smartphone. It just has to be equipped to receive text messages. So it's pretty basic stuff here. What's happening? Well, scammers have created a new way to separate you from your money, as they always do, especially at the holidays. And this specific scam deals with saying that you have parked illegally in a school zone. You may have never even been to the school that's alleged where you parked illegally. You might not even travel in that direction, but the scammers have been able to text you and let you know that you are possibly going to receive a hefty ticket because you parked illegally in this school zone. So the details are that the text is sent to your phone and it goes on to describe being from an official sounding website. It has all the markers of being, again, official, which of course can be quite intimidating. And the text and the website include the following information. It says that there are claims of speeding in school zones or other offenses that you don't remember. There's another part that says that there is pressure to pay immediately to avoid fees or legal trouble. If you click on this link that is attached in your text message, it's an active link, you'll be prompted to enter your payment information to somehow mitigate this fine that you're now receiving, and that you'll then be contacted in a way so that they can collect and funnel funds to this criminal enterprise. Again, the newest viral scam.
It's always like, you got to do it now or there's going to be some sort of consequence.
Mm-hmm.
Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up.
Hurry up and pay.
Yeah, that's usually a sign that it's illegitimate.
It is. But unfortunately, as is the case with situations like this and scams that are on cell phones, they prey upon people who may not be media literate, and people do fall victim to these scams. So make sure if you are receiving any sort of link that says anything about a ticket that you are being fined for parking illegally in a school zone or any zone for that matter, do not click any links. That's just a rule of thumb, whether in social media or on your cell phone and in your text messages. The next story. This one deals very much with biology. And last night, again, when I was listening to Later with Mo Kelly, you guys talked about the pit diaper.
Yes, sir.
Well, the pit diaper is marketed mostly to men. Mostly.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing. But this story is more so apropos for women, biological women, women who are still menstruating for that matter. All right, let's get into the nitty gritty. Well, it all started on TikTok when a young lady shared a video while at a concert. She was at a concert and she says, "Hey, thank you to the woman who in the bathroom gave me this sanitary napkin during an emergency that I was having." She says, "Thank you so much. And also, why didn't you warn me?" Huh? What would you need a warning about? Well, this was no ordinary sanitary napkin. And I imagine half of your listeners right now are probably kind of plugging their ears because of the ick factor, but let's grow up here. It wasn't an ordinary sanitary napkin. No, it's something called a honey pot pad.
Is that the same thing as a pot pie?
For some in this case, maybe. Because the young lady who received this honey pot pad went on to post her thank yous to this anonymous woman in the bathroom who shared it with her during an emergency at this concert. But again, the woman says, "Why didn't you warn me?" She goes on to say that this honey pot pad gave her all sorts of interesting sensations. And because of this video, which has now gone viral on TikTok to the tune of multiple millions of viewers and engagements, people are having conversations about what this is and whether or not it's actually something that women should use. And the internet is divided. Half of the people who have used it say, "It's amazing. It's great. It's infused with oils and lavenders and aloe and all these things. And it creates a, quote, cooling sensation."
Wait a minute. I'm a dude, okay? I've never used one before. I need you to really, really break it down.
Well, in this case, this particular pad lines the underwear of a user to protect them, just like the pit.
Yeah, I get that. I
diaper
get that.
might do.
Okay, but what's special about this pad?
Well, this one, unlike the pit diaper, Mo, has, again, an infusion of different ingredients like mint, lavender, and aloe. Okay, it's herbally infused. It's fancy. It's fancy pants. All right?
Trying to make tea down there?
I was going to say that. Am I supposed to be like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that. It's like, am I going to throw it in the oven? Am I going to boil it? I mean, what?
Here's the thing. Some of the users say that they, in fact, were boiling and that it was very uncomfortable because of what these herbs actually did to their nether regions. Again, the internet is divided on this newest viral conversation, and experts have weighed in and said, while this is fun and kind of the moment, it's having a moment, this honey pad, do not use it because it actually messes with your biological stuff down there. You don't need to make
like
tea.
Your pH balance.
Your pH balance. You don't need all these herbs and things down there. Leave it alone. Just be, kind of go back to the old school stuff. So maybe the pit diaper will be lined with aloe and mint and lavender soon enough.
No. We're going to have Mark try it out. He'll let us know.
I think so. We can always line it ourselves.
We can line it with hot sauce or something.
Yeah, what's not to like?
When we come back, we'll have part 2 of the Viral Load with Tiffany Hobbs. KFI AM 640 live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
Head over to NFLshop.com for the largest collection of officially licensed gear from all your favorite brands. NFL Shop is your ultimate gifting destination for jerseys, t-shirts, headwear, and more. Take your game day style to the next level with the best selection of NFL gear anywhere. Show off your team pride this holiday season with styles fit for the whole family. To shop now, go to NFLshop.com.
It's beginning to sound a lot like the holidays. The Roku channel, your home for free and premium TV, is giving you access to holiday music and genre-based stations from iHeart, all for free. Find the soundtrack of the season with channels like iHeart Christmas and North Pole Radio. The Roku channel is available on all Roku devices, web, Amazon Fire TV, Google TV, Samsung TVs, and the Roku mobile app on iOS and Android devices. So stream what you love and turn up the cheer with iHeartRadio on the Roku channel. Happy streaming!
I don't know if you know this, but when you don't have time to read the Washington Post, you can listen to it. Almost every article has a listening option. And right now, you can become a Washington Post subscriber for just 50 cents a week. It's an incredible deal. Stay on top of what's happening by signing up at washingtonpost.com/pod. That's washingtonpost.com/POD.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Tiffany Hobbs, Viral Load, Part 2.
Here we go. Mo, during your show, you have a tendency to stand up and stretch. Yes?
Sure do.
Why do you do that?
Keep the blood flowing, keep my energy moving. Sitting is unhealthy for long periods of time.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And when we think about traveling, specifically with flying, longer flights, people are advised to stand up and stretch their legs during, to get that blood circulating and to prevent things like clotting and other health issues.
Absolutely.
Yes? Well, a man last week shared footage on TikTok. His name is Richard Duong. And the video on TikTok is of a female passenger standing for the majority of a 7-hour flight. Dr. Duong captioned the recording, quote, "Lady stood on my flight for the entire 7-hour duration watching her movie," end quote. The clip shows the woman on her feet as the plane takes off and taxis, or is, in the air at its cruising altitude, not taxiing. And Duong does clarify in the comments that this woman would eventually take her seat when the seatbelt sign was turned on, but that for the majority of the flight, which was relatively smooth, the woman stood. And of course, as he uploaded this, it invited all sorts of conversation because Duong's intention for uploading this video was to essentially criticize or question why this passenger would stand for 7 hours. Well, the internet, of course, weighed in, and a lot of people gave various responses to this now viral clip. One response was, she could have a clotting disorder. Another says, I stand so that I can stretch a lot because I have a clotting disorder.
Amen.
Another goes on to say, I have massive back issues. I totally get it. Another person goes on to say, hey, I have a broken tailbone. Totally understand. And lastly, one person said, I have fibromyalgia and I would have to stand for the majority of a flight because otherwise I'm in agony.
Yeah, my hips can't stand sitting for hours on end. I got to stand up. There are times where I'll go home or coming into work today, I'm spending an hour plus in the car. I won't sit down for a while. I just can't.
You can't, and you shouldn't, because it's not healthy. The point of me including this is, again, to say that you never know when you'll be on the receiving end of someone's viral clip. You spoke about this earlier in the show. You never know when someone is there ready to record you and put you onto social media and to catapult you to this fame you don't ask for, this notoriety. This woman didn't ask to be videoed. She was standing for whatever reason, but now she is the subject of a viral video and a lot of conversation about why she was standing on a flight, which is totally her own business.
If she was not encroaching upon someone's space, I don't see what the issue is. I just don't get it. And then to be standing shaved, is something else. I don't know about Dr. Duong, but that's uncool.
Totally uncool. Another story that is extremely uncool has to deal with poor media literacy. Again, I spoke about this a bit earlier in the segment. It is imperative that we all avail ourselves to what is accurate and what is inaccurate online and be able to decipher again between the two based off our knowledge of how to find out and fact check what's real and what's not. Social media preys upon our inability to decipher. It just unloads content and you are left to kind of pick up the pieces and figure out what's going on. Well, there's a popular TikTok account that purposely uploads fake content that people assume is real. And then people go on and share this content. This TikTok creator has built an entire platform on uploading fake stories, fake news, if you will. They're 60-second fictional posts that intentionally spread false and sensational information. And every month, at least one of this TikTok user's posts go viral. And that's despite being fake. Some more fake than others, but all of them, again, not accurate. Here's an example. This post was uploaded by this TikTok creator, and it said, this post that ended up going viral, that is a complete falsity. Quote, the New York CEO who had his Lamborghini pooped in by his employees after he canceled their Christmas bonuses has just learned that they have all resigned. Literally every employee from the sales staff to the shipping department emailed in their resignation to the CEO at the same time. End quote. That is a completely made up fake story. And
but went viral.
It went viral. Completely viral because people don't know.
You forgot one thing.
Sure.
A lot of people don't care.
Don't care. And the more sensational, the more viral it seems to go. Just like the woman standing up on the flight. There's no reason anyone should really be bothering her and questioning why she's doing it. And it certainly shouldn't go viral, but it did. This person, this TikTok account, again, deliberately uploads content to fool people, and people either don't care or don't take the time to fact check, and his posts then are circulated throughout the world millions of times over, and he does not go back and then say, hey, that's a fake. So be careful what you share, people. Fact check, cross check if you're interested. And make sure that before you press share or send on a story or a piece of content, you find out if it is true or not.
The key phrase in all that was media literacy. And when we come back, I'm going to tell you about what goes on behind the scenes when you're watching your favorite cable news program. I put news in quotation marks. You wonder why you see a lot of the same people every single day. I'm going to tell you exactly why you do and the money involved. That's next.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
And I am fortunate enough or blessed enough, however you want to describe it. I am fortunate, blessed, lucky, whatever, to be able to say I've done a lot of TV work in a commentary sense. A question I often get is, well, how did you get on? Well, I earned my way. And I can say that confidently because there are a lot of people who pay their way to get on cable television. If you are, or even local news, like I've done OAN, MSNBC, CNN, Fox 11, NBC, obviously Spectrum, and a bunch of other stations and networks. And every single time I had to earn my way on. Either I pitched myself or someone saw a clip and I was recommended to them, but I didn't pay my way on. Mo, what are you talking about? There are a lot of people in this business who will hire television publicists and they will pay big money because they have a relationship with a television network, a cable network, or a booker of a specific show to gain favor and get you as a client on this show. They'll pay big money. And it's a racket in many instances where you will pay a publicist and that publicist will either pay a host, pay a show, or pay a show booker to have their client on. And these publicists usually get paid by the appearance or any type of gig that they can secure for their client. I know this for a fact. How do I know? Because the publicists have contacted me offering to pay me to have people on this show. I even have the emails. I had to politely inform them, oh, that's plugola. That's illegal. We don't do that. But I know how the business works. I'm talking about this because there was a story which broke today. You may know Congresswoman Nancy Mace, Republican from South Carolina. And the FEC filings, Federal Election Commission filings, meaning that this money came from her campaign funds. The FEC filings show that this campaign season, Nancy Mace spent $165,000 for the sole purpose of getting on cable news. $165,000, where she basically was paying her way on different cable networks. Why would they do this? To raise their national profile. Maybe eventually run for governor, senator, president one day. You know about Nancy Mace in large part because you would see her on cable news just about every damn day. From February 23rd to October 24th, Mace made 8 payments totaling $165,000, ranging from $7,500 to $30,000 apiece to Driver 8 Media for quote-unquote media consulting. And Driver 8 Media, their job is getting their clients on cable news. It's not illegal, but it's definitely quid pro quo, pay for play. I've never had to pay for any appearance that I've had on TV. And if you don't know what's going on behind the scenes, here's how you can break it down. If you see someone they're introduced as, like, for example, if you watch CNN, you'll see someone like Scott Jennings, and they'll introduce him as CNN contributor. That means he's being paid to be on there. He's not paying to be on there. If you see a random guest talking about a specific issue that you've probably never seen before and you'll never see again, that's probably a legitimate guest, because it's issue specific, and their producer needed to find someone who was, I don't know, an oceanographer or something like that, or knew something about underwater basket weaving because they're having a specific segment on underwater basket weaving. But if you see someone who's getting on rather frequently and has really no specific expertise, usually a congressperson who's trying to develop their profile, you can bet dollars to donuts that they've hired a media consultancy who has a relationship with that network or with that show, and they're basically buying their way on. That's how it works. And there are people like me who get on their merits. Yes, I'm patting myself on the back because it's really, really hard to get on TV. It's really hard. And I'm just talking about getting on for free. In other words, they're not paying me. I've done it at least 100 appearances on CNN and CNN International, never received one dime from them. But they called me because I was good enough to handle the political subjects. That's how the business works. Most people, most publicists are getting paid by the appearance that they can secure. So when you see that Nancy Mace paid $165,000, she wasn't paying that as just a retainer, and hopefully the Driver 8 Media will get her on a show here or there. No, she's basically paying for the successful procurement of placement on these shows. That's how it works. If she gets placed on a show, she'll pay, let's say, in general, I think it's like maybe $500 an appearance that these clients will pay to get on a Fox News or an MSNBC or so forth. It's all a racket. It is all a racket. And if someone's introduced as a contributor, that means the network is paying that person to appear. If it's someone who's like me, just a regular talking head, and they say, coming up now, or, now to give us more information is Mr. Mo Kelly. You know him as host of Later with Mo Kelly on KFI AM 640. That's probably a legitimate guess because they're not associated with the network. And if you only see me like once every 3 or 4 weeks, okay, I'm probably not paying to get on because it wouldn't be financially advantageous. But if you see someone on there 2 or 3 times a week, like a Congressman Byron Donalds or a Jerry Connolly, you may see him on MSNBC or Donalds on every network, they probably have a media consultancy where they're paying this place to get placed on these shows, and there's usually a kickback system. If I'm a booker for a show, let's just say Rachel Maddow, I'm just picking a show out of the air, and I'm paying Tiffany Hobbs Media Company to get me placed on that, I will probably pay her, let's say, $500 for every time she get me placed on the show, and she'll use a portion of that, because we did this in the music industry for radio stations, and she would use a portion of that to kick down to the producer. You do this for me, I'll do this for you. I book your person, here's $250. Each time you get them on, here's another $250. Everyone's happy. The client gets on the news, the booker gets a little extra in their pocket, and the publicist gets paid, and their media profile also grows.
Does that then delegitimize the news when you think about it?
Well, it's not the news, it's cable news, which is the opinion and editorial.
Okay.
Not actual news dissemination that Mark Ronner does. This is a who, what, where, when, why, and how. And when you have like a show like Rachel Maddow or Jesse Waters, they're giving their opinions, they're editorializing about whatever stories they want to talk about, but they are not in any way giving the news. And anyone tells you otherwise is media illiterate, going back to what you were saying last segment. Those aren't news channels. The reason why cable is different from broadcast news is broadcast news, like 247, NBC, ABC, they're governed by the FCC. They're using the public's airwaves. That's why it's free. Cable news is a private signal. You are opting in. You are a cable news subscriber. And cable news is no different than Comedy Central. What I mean by that is you can have profanity and nudity on HBO, and you can have all sorts of profanity on Comedy Central because it's cable. You're opting in. You can't do the same things on broadcast news or broadcast television stations. So that's why I'm very particular when people talk about, the news is biased. Do you know what news is? Do you know what news is not? And if you want to tell me that, MSNBC is biased news. Okay, you don't know what you're talking about. That's how it's created. It's opinion and editorial. Fox News is opinion and editorial. CNN, domestic, is opinion and editorial. Now, CNN has 88 bureaus around the world, including CNN International, and those are news. In other words, if you go to another country and you watch CNN, you're not getting the junk that you're seeing on CNN domestic. You're getting the actual news without opinion and editorial. They're just giving it to you straight. What CNN domestic does, people think of CNN as only what they see on their TV here. No, that's like a small portion of their business. Fox News doesn't have any international bureaus. CNN has bureaus around the world. That's why you have reporters and journalists representing CNN around the world, and you'll never get that with Fox. People don't realize that. What do you mean they don't? They don't have any bureaus. Now, they may contract with like Sky News or something like that, but they don't have an actual news bureau outside of New York City. These are entertainment channels masquerading as news. That's why you can have all this funny business going on behind the scenes. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay. So when you see Nancy Mace paying $165,000, know that there are probably 10 other Congress people and other people who are paying that much or some approximation of that just so they can get on cable news or even local news with the hopes of broadening their profile. It's not organic.
Thank you for breaking that down, Mo.
It's almost sincere. It seems kind of sarcastic. Mark, didn't she sound sarcastic there?
Oh, no. She was dripping with sincerity.
That's what I thought, too.
Can you do that?
If you have a pit diaper on.
Yeah, there you go. Or one of those
hot pocket.
One of those tea bag pads you're talking about.
Tea bag pad. KFI AM640. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
Head over to NFLshop.com for the largest collection of officially licensed gear from all your favorite brands. NFL Shop is your ultimate gifting destination for jerseys, t-shirts, headwear, and more. Take your game day style to the next level with the best selection of NFL gear anywhere. Show off your team pride this holiday season with styles fit for the whole family. To shop now, go to NFLshop.com.
It's beginning to sound a lot like the holidays. The Roku Channel, your home for free and premium TV, is giving you access to holiday music and genre-based stations from iHeart, all for free. Find the soundtrack of the season with channels like iHeart Christmas and North Pole Radio. The Roku Channel is available on all Roku devices, web, Amazon Fire TV, Google TV, Samsung TVs, and the Roku mobile app on iOS and Android devices. So stream what you love and turn up the cheer with iHeartRadio on the Roku Channel. Happy streaming!
I don't know if you know this, but when you don't have time to read the Washington Post, you can listen to it. Almost every article has a listening option. And right now, you can become a Washington Post subscriber for just 50 cents a week. It's an incredible deal. Stay on top of what's happening by signing up at WashingtonPost.com/pod. That's WashingtonPost.com/POD.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Before we go, during the break, I forwarded an email that I had to both Mark Ronner and Tiffany Hobbs regarding how these PR firms, the shifting money where they will either pay a show so they can place their guest, one of their client, or they'll pay the booker who's booking the show, trying to forge some sort of financial relationship. What did you think of that email, Tiffany? I can't read it, but you can character it.
Yeah. I mean, I was blown away by how brazen it is and was. And I asked you, I said, is it because of an ignorance where that this company doesn't know that such an act is illegal, such a request is illegal, or do they not care? Because it's just so brazen.
I think it's ignorance because in the email, they straight up asked for what my rate was to come on this show. Straight up asked. And a person who knows the illegality wouldn't have put it in there. Using that phraseology. It's like, how exactly can we facilitate this illegal transaction? No.
Really? Because I took that to mean the fact that they phrased it that way meant somebody else, at least one other person, had played ball with him before.
No, I do think someone has played ball with them before. But for those who don't know, we take a Plug-ola and payola test here every single year.
Oh, we get drilled on that stuff
FCC
routinely.
Violations, all that kind of stuff. Every single year we have to pass this test. It's tedious. It's silly on some level, but we have to do it every single year.
Meanwhile, there's people sitting at home thinking, what? There's ethics in the radio business?
That's why I talk about it.
Yeah.
And there's a difference between what we do and what podcasts do. There's a difference between what we do in the KFI news department will do and what you may hear someone else, people just talking about the news. Mark Ronner, say what you want about him.
Here we go.
When he is in his news break, he's just giving you the news. Now, if you want to ascribe some sort of emotion he has to a story, you're guessing. He's not telling you what he thinks about the news. That's how you know you're actually getting the news. Me, I'm riffing. You know exactly what I feel about the news. And here's an easy way to remember. If you know that I'm explicitly giving you my feelings about a news subject, it's not the news. It's opinion and editorial. A person who's an anchor is just giving you the information. If I start giving you any opinion, we're not talking about the news. I should say we're just talking about the news. I'm not exactly giving you the news. There are rules as far as dissemination of news. Most people don't know them.
No, and anybody who's been in the news or radio or news entertainment, whatever you want to call it, that we're in, over an extended period of time, also knows that you switch roles off and on, and you still maintain credibility because you know exactly how to behave in each of those roles. I mean, I've been a critic as long as I've been a newsman. They're both journalists, but they do different things.
And also, there are portions of journalism which include opinion and editorial. I'm just saying, as far as the dissemination of news, it does not. I mean, for example, you could watch Walter Cronkite or a television anchor at the end of the news broadcast have a partition and say, I am now giving you my thoughts about a particular subject. Walter Cronkite may be talking about the war in Vietnam or something like that. But there was a partition where you knew I've moved away from the anchor seat and now I'm giving you my personal thoughts.
Yeah, there's nothing about being a journalist that requires you to shut down your faculties for observation and critical thinking. Anybody who thinks that is fooling themselves. But, you know, your story about Nancy Mace in particular, I think that should be of really major interest to people because I'm a huge critic of the show aspect of cable news, inviting people on who are known dishonest brokers over and over again. If I were the boss of, say, CNN, if I caught somebody lying once, I wouldn't invite them back. But they routinely invite people back for this kayfabe, this fake wrestling, where the host will pretend to smack down somebody who's not telling the truth.
It's performative.
It's exactly right. That's what it is.
Yes, and they're trying to go for the viral clip, and they're trying to get eyeballs because, unfortunately, it's about ratings and also selling ad space, and they need people to tune in. It's not about for the sanctity of the news or the Fourth Estate. It has nothing to do with that.
Yeah, it's more the fifth column than the Fourth Estate. And what you revealed about the payola adds another layer of serious insidiousness to the whole scenario.
And there's something else I forgot to mention. When we talk about FEC filings, going back to Nancy Mace, those are campaign contributions. It could be from people like you and me. It could be from a super PAC. It could be from any number of entities with nefarious interests, which are then further shaping, quote unquote, the news media space and what is supposedly important and how we should feel about it, air quotes.
So we know that when we see your face on TV,
I didn't pay my way on. I earned my way. Thank you very much. KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
The perfect holiday soundtrack for when you don't care what Mariah wants for Christmas.
KFI
and KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
The only thing better than the holidays are holidays packed with NFL games. Kicking off Thursday, December 19th with an AFC West showdown.
Touchdown Chargers!
Then a Saturday doubleheader. 12 games Sunday with a battle in Lambeau on Monday night.
Oh, what a play! What a catch!
And a Christmas Day doubleheader for the ages on Netflix.
Oh, sweet Marie!
That's how the NFL does the holidays.
You wake up, put on your Ray-Ban Meta glasses. You're living all in. You realize you need coffee. So you say,
Hey, Meta, how do I make a latte?
Brew 2 shots of espresso.
after Meta AI gets you caffeinated, you're ready for some beats.
Hey, Meta, play hip-hop music.
You head to meet some friends, but can't remember the place.
Hey, Meta, call Eva.
Ray-Ban Meta glasses, the next generation of AI glasses. Just say, hey, Meta, to harness the power of Meta AI. Shop now at meta.com/smartglasses.
It's beginning to sound a lot like the holidays. The Roku Channel, your home for free and premium TV, is giving you access to holiday music and genre base stations from iHeart, all for free. Find the soundtrack of the season with channels like iHeart Christmas and North Pole Radio. The Roku Channel is available on all Roku devices, web, Amazon Fire TV, Google TV, Samsung TVs, and the Roku mobile app on iOS and Android devices. So stream what you love and turn up the cheer with iHeartRadio on the Roku Channel. Happy streaming!